Well, hello there. I'm going to show you how to do my Juniper Berry Stitch, and we can take a little look at it first. So I developed it out of Juniper Stitch, so it's a bit similar, but it's a much tighter stitch. So when you don't want something that's quite as lacy. And I did an owl eye border, but you could, it doesn't curl, so you could take it right to the borders if you wanted to. And the other side looks like this. Okay, so it's just a stitch video, so I'm going to show you how to do the stitch. I'll have projects coming later. The loom that I'm using is a Cindy Wood loom. It has 42 pegs. And for the swatch, I'm using 12 pegs. The yarn that I'm using is I love this chunky yarn. This is it here. It's a Hobby Lobby yarn. And the color is Cinnamon Cedar. So it's a bulky. It's about a medium weight bulky. Oh, and this is a 5/8 inch gauge loom. If I forgot to say that, I'm not sure if I did or not. But anyway, this is the color range. Really, really pretty yarn, this one. Okay, now the loom hook I'm using is one that's not made anymore, but they do have similar ones on Etsy. So you'll be able to find a similar loom hook if that's what you want, but any loom hook does for loom knitting. Okay, now I started it out. I'll show you, first of all, I'll show you the cast on. I did a crochet chain cast on, and this cast on will be linked on my page, and I have a matching cast off that is linked also right in the description of this very video. And then I did owl eye border, and I did 2 rows of owl eye to start, and I have plenty of owl eye videos on my channel if you wanted to do what I did, but you could do anything. You could do garter stitch on the edges, or you could just go right into the stitch and not have a border. The stitch doesn't curl. At least I haven't had it curl. Okay, now I did my edge already, and I'll show you how I did that in case you want to know how I did the swatch, but I'll show you how to do the stitch. So we go around twice, just like we're doing Juniper Stitch, and you are in control of this tension. This will be as tight as you make it. Now we want this stitch to be a little tighter, so we're going to be a little snugger, but not when we just do the stitch. We're just going to put on loosely so we can get everything over. Okay, now with Juniper Stitch, you take the 2 bottom to put over the top. So what you'd be putting over the top is the working yarn and your bottom loop. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take the bottom loop, put it over the top too. Now here's where you don't want to get mixed up. You want to see where your top one is and leave it up there. Then we're going to take the next one, which is now the working yarn that's been worked into the stitch, and we're going to put it over the top one. And then at this point, this is where we're going to just snug it up a little. Okay, and that's the only place we're going to snug it up a little. We're going to keep it loose so that we can get the stitches over. So again, bottom stitch over the 2 top ones, next stitch over the top, snug it up. Okay, bottom stitch over, next stitch over, snug it up. Okay, very, very easy, easy, easy to do. And then snug it up. Okay, so bottom one over the 2 top, next one over, snug it. Okay, so what we're doing here again is we're taking the bottom one over the 2 top. Now we've worked this bottom one into an extra loop. That's what's tightened it up. And take this one over and then snug it up. So it's a very, very easy 1 peg stitch. You can use even or odd for it. And then when I come here, I'm just doing an owl eye edge. So I'm just coming over very, very loosely, doing a U-knit, coming over, knitting over both, really loose. and then coming back over. I'm doing it really, really loose because that stitch is loose, and if this isn't really loose, this will pull tighter, and that's what makes things curl when your edges are tighter than the rest of the work. Okay, so again, when we're going this way, we just go over twice like that, bottom one over the top, next one over, snug it up, bottom one over the top, next one over, and snug it up. Very, very easy. Okay, and as you can see, we do quite a bit each row. If you look at the difference between the new row and the old row, you can see how much work is up here. I hope that's showing up clearly for you in the video, but it goes really, really fast, and it's a really thick textured stitch. You can look at the stitch again just so you can see how textured this really is. And it has a really nice kind of a zigzaggy effect. Put it close here so you can see it. But yet it's much tighter than Juniper Stitch. So I created this one so that I could have this look and do tighter weaves. So if I had a thinner yarn, a thinner gauge loom, let's say I did this same yarn on a 1/2 inch, this would be really, really, really tight stitch. Or if you wanted to get it a little more lacy, I'll pull it out, it would look more like that, which is very nice too. So you can have this stitch be any way you want. And you can have a lot of fun doing it. And the other side, we'll take a really good look at it, it's pretty cool looking actually. This has less texture, but a similar kind of zigzaggy shape to it. And then this side has a lot of texture. Okay, so let's just finish this row and do the other edge. Okay, so we just go over twice here, knit this one over, knit this one over, snug it up over both of them, knit this one over, knit this one over, snug it up, knit this one over, snug it up, this one over, snug it up, this one over, and snug it up. And then just the loose owl eye edging. And coming back, do the second stitch on here, and then over, next one over, and snug it up. Bottom one over, next one over, and snug it up. Bottom one over, next one over, and snug it up. And you should never get mixed up. You can always see the yarn you're taking over is coming from here, not here where the working yarn is. It's coming from here, and you can see it coming right from in there when you pull on it. So always get the right one over. If you take it over the other way, you kind of get a twist in it. This keeps them laying straight. And you can actually work up a great speed doing this. It's very easy to do. Oop, I almost kept going there. I got a little eye here. Okay, that should be enough to give you an idea. I do have projects coming. This is just a stitch video, but this is so if you want to take the stitch and do something with it, you can, because you don't have to wait for me. And now that there's more, you can see how much it's grown just from the couple of rows I did. Really, really pretty stitch. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, bye.